Okay, you may start.
All right. So, good morning, guys. I think the time there is 11:30 or 30ish. Here it's 1:39 in the morning. So, Miss Abjulina and I were classmates in college. So, of course, obliged to give a short lecture of what we have in the Philippines. So, if you have questions along the way, just go ahead and raise your hand and then go ahead and speak. Okay? Would that be great?
So if you have some questions, please raise your hand. Um, Vanessa, that's first.
Yeah, if you can hear me clearly, you can just give me a thumbs up. Can you hear me clearly? Or there's, yeah, I can see
Got
one giving a thumbs up. Okay, let me go ahead and share my screen. One sec. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so let me just see this one. Actually, I don't have a second device with me, so I think I have to rely on your uh, verbal cues on which I am going to proceed because my screen is just the whole thing I'm presenting. Can you see the map of the Philippines right now?
Yeah.
All right, good. So let's start. This short lecture will just be a little under 30 minutes. So I will entertain questions later on when get to see you back, guys, because I have the entire screen for the presentation. So let's begin. This is the Philippines.
Mr.
The the
Mr.
ones.
Mayo, they want to introduce you first.
Oh, they want to know me first.
Yeah.
All right.
Tell us about your background, your years of experience teaching in the Philippines.
All right. All right. Understood. So I've been a teacher since 2015. That is a little over 9 school years already. I have a continuous teaching experience since I graduated in college. I am a major in social studies. That is why I will be talking about culture and a little over geography in the Philippines. Currently, I am in my senior year in law school. I wish not just to be a teacher, but later on to become a lawyer and eventually a judge. So that is how I am setting myself up to. So every after class I still have a class for the regular basis. I'll be off at 3 in the afternoon, and I'm in law school from 5:30 until 8 or 9. So basically, my life revolves around education since the beginning of time, and of course, I love about it. And I once wished to be in the US. I tried applying in 2018, but there's no luck on it. So I pursued my law school, and now I am in my senior years. So I think just that. Do you have questions for me, or should I present now?
If you're gonna come further,
Sorry, I cannot hear you properly.
United States to be a judge?
So I'm sorry.
Are you coming to the United States to be a judge?
Oh no, not necessarily. I would like to be a judge in my own country in the Philippines because that's another jurisdiction I have to take the bar for whatever state it may be, or just like the state bar of Colorado for an example. So it would be another schooling if I would be interested to, but that I would be open to that idea, but I have to help first the Philippines. All right. Next question.
Yeah, how do you pronounce your name?
That's Jerome. That's simply that's Jerome. It is just that my mother gave me a different spelling, but that's Jerome.
Lumpaya.
Yes. Yep. Lumpaya.
Say it with pride.
Okay. Go ahead.
I said say your last name with pride.
I'm sorry, I did not get that.
Say your last name with pride. Like,
Oh, okay, that's Lumpayao.
Yeah.
It's actually, yeah, in the Philippines, we have a syllabic way of pronouncing things. So we compartmentalize things like lum, pa, and yao. That's lumpayao.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because later on you will know that we have had connections with several superpowers in the world. So that is why the Philippines is actually an interplay of several layers of cultures along as we go along with the discussion.
okay, you may start.
All right. Thank you. So this is my presentation. As I said, this will be a little under 30 minutes. This is the Philippines, although I cannot really present to you the entirety of it, the entire beginning and the end of the Philippines as history records it, because that will be very long. I'll just course you through the Philippines, its people, its food, and then later on, I know that your teacher has prepared something, and then you will be, or you might be asking for more when you see the slides as we move along. So, if you're going to direct your attention to your left side of your screen, that is the Philippines, and we are an archipelago. So our nation is archipelagic in nature, meaning we are having boundaries of water, but of course we have lands. These colors actually represent our five. No, I'm sorry, our three major geographical locations. So we have Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Your teacher and I actually belong to Central Visayas. That's the middle part. And then we are called, in our ethnicity, we are called Bisaya. Okay. So please take note that the Philippines is a nation, it is a country, and Filipinos are its people. So there are times that we have close similarity, facial similarities with the rest of the Asian countries, but Filipinos stand out at the different levels of competition, perhaps in the world. So this slide, we will get to know the popular foods in the Philippines, in which you may be asking from your teacher later on. We will get to know family relations and its structures in the Filipino context. We will also take a look into cultural festivities in the Philippines, why we have them. We will also take a look at a few of Filipino social practices as well as indigenous Filipinos in their clothing. For this one, indigenous Filipinos still are existing until today. Some of them are not really in the mainstream societies that we live in, and we take credit for that because that is in one way extending our identity, our roots from the beginning of time. Okay, so if you can take a look at these flags, can you name these flags? Anyone? Just go ahead and speak because I cannot see your I cannot see you over the screen. Anyone? So of course this is your flag, the flag of the United States of America. How about the other one?
Japan.
Japan, that's correct. And then on top of the Japanese flag is?
Spain.
All right, that's correct. So what was the Philippines' relationship to these countries? The Philippines was once its colony. So because we were once a colony, the most number of years we've had was with Spain, 333 years. For the US, we have a little over 40 years, and for Japan, we have just a little over 3 years. So because of these influences of different times, we were able to actually get few of the things that these once colonizers had. Okay, just like for example, the American education, because of the coming of the Americans, we were given the opportunity to educate ourselves by enrolling into their schools. Okay. An example of the Spanish influence is also our religiosity. You know, most of the Filipinos actually are Catholics, and that was brought about by Spain. For Japan, I would say for Japan is our resilience. You know, Japanese are also resilient. Filipinos are at par as well of their resilience. Right. So Filipinos are a food-loving people. Food sharing is our love language. Does anybody of you know or have an idea what is this photo about?
It's called lechon.
Have you tried lechon?
I have not tried lechon.
All right. So lechon actually has if we are going to put it into a triangle, that lechon is the at the apex of the food pyramid of the Filipinos. Okay, we are actually we are people of common food choice. Later on, you will know why do we have such big food. Okay, big preparations. This is a typical Filipino food, although commercialized. Okay, so this is a set of a Filipino corporation. I do not know if you know this one. The corporation is called Mang Inasal, and Mang Inasal actually is specializing in Filipino foods. So if you are going to take a look at your screen, we will name them one by one. Okay. So first we have chicken inasal. We have pork barbecue. The entirety of it is called actually fiesta meal. Fiesta is actually a gathering for a town or a small place in honor of their patron saint. So we will take a look at that later on. Next, we also have pork sisig, and of course,
Yo,
very popular.
hold up, hold up,
Sorry,
hold on. Can't see you.
go ahead, sir. Do you have a question?
No, we can't see you on the screen, on the Zoom.
Who connected that?
There's someone can. There might be one of the teachers.
That's
All
mad.
right. But I can hear you guys loud and clear. I think that's my audio going out to you. All right. Just say continue if
Okay,
that's fixed
just
already.
continue.
All right. Okay. So these are Filipino foods that you can taste in the Philippines.
Huh?
Just an observation. Can you tell me what have you observed together with this food? What is always present? What's always present together with the chicken in asal, the pork barbecue, the pork sisig? What's
They
always present? What's its
said
complement?
they said it's all about the meat, good
Rice.
food, and rice.
Right, correct. Filipinos and practically all Asian countries actually are rice people. That is our staple food. So we get to partner rice with almost every viand that we have. Okay. So we also have I included it here. We call it pansit palabok, and this is commonly a thick sauce spread across a pancit. We call this a pancit because of the strands of noodles that we have. These are white noodles. So if you're going to take a look at it, the Filipino way of sharing food in a community is actually of a bigger portion. So if you come to the Philippines, there will be times that, especially if it is a fiesta, it's a town fiesta or any celebration of some sort, we always have a gathering and we prepare food for more people than expected. So, as I said earlier on, Philippines, the Filipinos is love language. Actually, one of them is actually food. Now, let's take a look at the family. Okay, so the family in the Philippines is actually highly relational. If we talk about Filipino language in relation to the family, it's relational. Unlike in the US, that you are pretty straightforward. Although there are times that you relate to somebody's endearment. Actually, we use that term endearment here to replace uh, the name of the person to that of another one. But in the Philippines, we actually get to have a standard way of naming things, naming conventions. Like in a nuclear family is something like just your parents and your siblings. That's it. So in a nuclear family, if your father is John, well, in the US, you call him John. However, in the Philippines, there are variations, and most of us actually call them tatay or papa. That is more of an endearing term rather than a direct way of calling them. Well, perhaps in your communities as well, you have different way of relating to your family members. But in the Philippines, that's a standard one. Okay, so if your mother is Jennifer, well, in the Philippines we call them mama or nanay. Okay, there is so much sweeter undertone to it. Okay, and for brothers and sisters, and then if you are the youngest, if you are a brother, you are called a kuya. An older brother is called a kuya. An older sister is called an ate. And if you are the youngest, you are called bunso. So this is regardless of gender. So in the Philippines, it's not that we do not know these people, we do not know their name, but it is just that we are relational. We use terms other than those directly characterizing the people around us, because that's how we actually express our love and bond for them. So that is for the immediate family. For the extended family, well, in the US, as I always observe in movies, your grandfathers, others call them pops, grandpa or granddad, but in the Philippines, we call them lolo, or we call them papa lolo, or just papa, just a straight out papa or father. Okay, the same as your grandmother. You can Americans call them granny or grandma, while in the Philippines we call them lola or mama lola. Now we have this shared stylics or shared words somehow of Spanish, because given the fact that we were under Spanish rule for 333 years, that's 3 centuries and 3 decades and 3 years, it was very our way of life as a Filipinos then was very characterized of everything Spanish. Okay? There was even a time where people were called altas, or of a high society. So whether inside or outside the family members, say for example our neighbors, We call them, for young men, we call them dodong. For young women, we call them inday. For middle-aged men, we call them manong or nong. And for middle-aged females, we call them manang or nang. This is uh, this is to this is to respect actually of their stature in the society. So whether we are outside the family or inside the family, our language, the Filipino language, depending on whatever dialect we are, is actually relational in nature. The way we use terms would actually mean that, oh, this is a younger brother, or this is an older brother, or this is his or her grandma or grandpa. Okay. So, in the course of the things that we have in the family, we have a little over numerous number of Filipino practices and norms. And this is actually predicated on the idea of respect. Okay. When we are still small or young, we are told of these few things. The first one is pagmamano. Pagmamano actually is from the Spanish term mano, meaning the hand, or la mano, meaning shake hands. Now, later on, it was adopted by the Philippines to get the hands of the elders and placing it on the younger people's forehead. This is sometimes way of respecting the elderly, and this is also one way of telling the people in the house that, hey, I'm home. So if in the US, when you get home after school, you announce yourself, or you don't, that you're home. In the Philippines, most likely we are to do this gesture to our elderly, to our parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles. We do not do this one to our brothers and sisters, especially if the age bracket is just very close. Okay, so Filipinos also love to invite people to share our food, even if they come unannounced. And that's the very trademark of the Filipinos. You get into any Filipino home anywhere in the world, whether in the US, in the Philippines, or in Europe, if you get to chance a family, Filipino family having food together, they will invite you for food. And there's no questions asked. They will be asking you to join them. So unlike any other cultures in the world where if you come in and announce, then you just stay perhaps in the living room before and wait until the host is done eating. But in the Philippines, that's not the case. Okay, we all have this desire to feed the visitors at home. And then this was even when the Europeans came, actually this was even mistaken as weakness or cowardice, because they thought it was submission to their power or might, but it's not. It's just that Filipinos are hospitable. Okay, so in the Philippines, apart from the food and the language that we have, we are ethnically diverse.
It
Yes, question.
it will end in 10 minutes.
All right, so we will be ending in 10 minutes. This is just very short.
Okay.
So in the Philippines, we have multiple ethnicities, given the fact that we are scattered. And because we have multiple ethnicities, we have the Lumads. Okay? The Lumads, these are people who comprise these ethnicities. So we will start with Luzon. So these are the indigenous people's clothing in northern Luzon. They are actually used daily or at some point in their ceremonial activities. This is one of its festivals, colorful festivals. This is the Aviday festival. And also in the Visayas, we have Ati and Panay Bukidnon. If you come to take a look at it, all our costumes actually are pretty similar. Okay. And of course, in our city, the city where I am right now, we have Sandurut Festival. And then our school have participated such festival, and we won already twice, last year and this year. And then that's Sandurut of Dumaguete. We also have Mascara Festival of Bacolod City. Its story is quite grim because this was during the famine of the 70s, and then the locals actually thought of an idea to mask their problems at that time and find happiness out of the misery that they were in, and it was made a cultural activity. We also have Zamboanga Hermosa Festival. This means Zamboanga Hermosa means beautiful Zamboanga. This is in the Mindanao part. So if you can take a look at it, we have in the Philippines we have so many cultural activities uh, experiencing a lot of times experiencing our hospitality, and we hope sometime soon, if you save more than enough money, that you visit the Philippines. Okay, so if there is no other questions, I'd like to thank you for the privilege of your time, and perhaps I'll see you next time. Do you have questions before uh I let you go?
Okay, well, I just want to say thank you for everything, and it was very interesting learning about your culture.
Thank you, Mister.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, all right, thank you guys, have a
Thank
great day. Bye bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.